This week on Gran Turismo, Daily Race A, I go for a crash at the Nurburgring. Daily Race B, we go 3 wide at Trial Mountain. And in Daily Race C, Chelsea usually gets lost, and there's no difference this week. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Gran Turismo Weekly Race Guide here in 2024, week 46, and a bit of a weird week to be honest with you. We've got some duplicate races, and arguably a fairly okay race as well. First up, a one-lap showdown at the Nurburgring. Yes, that's right, we've done this one before as well. You can see one-lap grid start, which is a bit weird. We are in the Nords, racing hard tyres, tyres on fuel and tyre wear, and the cars are hand-picked, which means no liveries, it's just what we are given. But no DR updates here either, and if you really do hate the Nurburgring, guess what? I'm going to put some timestamps in there for you to jump to Daily Race B and Race C. There is no Daily Race A guide this week, because as you know, I don't like the Nurburgring. I will put a lap guide I've done at the Nurburgring at the end of the video that you can click and watch, as the reference points there are generally what I use every time I race here. Here are some of the key statistics for this Daily Race then. So I've used this track twice, this track and car combo once before. It's definitely not in the top 10 used combos, and we last used this on the 11th of December. In terms of issues then, it's very hard to overtake, as I always say here for the Nurburgring, and that long straight at the end of the circuit, well, guess what? You've got a hard braking zone, and there are big crashes with the custom slipstream that is enabled. It's very strong. You can literally jump past people multiple times. Let's jump into this race then. I chose the Lexus LFA because I love a V10 engine, and let's see how I got on. Here we are then at the start, and we've got a Ford GT of pole, an NSX Type IP2, and we've got Diablos in there as well. That was actually top of the leaderboard at the time. Now this grid start, pretty atrocious at the Nords. I mean, they can't do much more about it really, but I start before the corner, which is pretty naff if I'm brutally honest, so obviously it's not going to get that high in scoring straight off the bat. So we're going to head in towards turn 1. Apologies for the annoying beep of the Lexus gear change. It's the one annoying part of this car. If you head towards floodplains then, not much has changed here, but once you are in that slipstream, you are going to get very close. Going through here, it's a lift, it's a long lift, and you can see there, I'm just being cautious. Unfortunately, a Lamborghini Diablo goes for a spin there, just clips the grass and goes round. We'll check it out in the bloopers, of course, as we're going to advance further on then to the foxhole. As we come up here then, in towards the left we go. The Porsche up ahead just clips the grass on the outside. Max Power avoids it somehow. I have no idea how. And Max Power is going drifting as well at the same time. All 4 wheels off the circuit, so I do expect Max Power to have some dirty tyres here as we'll leave that corner. We are up to P7 as well as we continue towards the double left. Bit of a weird race this being a one-lap showdown because you have one chance, and that is it. As we go into this left-hander, Max Power doesn't have dirty tyres apparently, which I have no idea how that's worked, but even so, you can see it right there. Max Power still going strong as we go through there. So we advance towards the hairpin then here in this section of the circuit. As we go into here, we slow it down nicely, and this queue of cars is growing, and that's due to the really strong slipstream, as well as everyone, you know, being pretty close. But it's clean racing here at the Nords. You won't experience this very often at all. This is just a very strong lobby and some very good sportsmanlike drivers that have joined this race. Of course, a lot of them and a lot of you guys know when I race in terms of the morning on a Monday, and that's why we do get some of these good races. Continuing out there, they're side by side in the distance. You can see everybody going absolutely everywhere here to try and get track position as we head towards the right-hander before the long acceleration period here at the, well, arguably the top of the mountain at the Nurburgring. I'm not actually sure what they would call it. You got the inside of Shelty though in the Jag. The only one in a Jag. Yes, a Jaguar XJ220. But we're side by side here, and I was going to get a bit nervous. I noticed a little bit of a bit of lift, and that's exactly what I did. Shelty took full advantage of that and maintains that P6 position. Up ahead there, side by side, Max Power and Handsome Frank in that Ford GT. You can see it up in the distance. It's all very close. This is brilliant racing though, to be fair, but you will not experience this very often in Daily Race A. I'm just putting that out there right now. You're probably seeing the best sort of Daily Race A you can expect in terms of this week's races. As we go into this slight kink here and head towards the sharp right-hander. I'm going to brake very early for this one just to slow it down nicely. Behind, we've got the pack catching up now as well with Steve Hodgson in the 350Z. You don't see that car very often at all in terms of the selection choice. Maybe because it's just a Nissan, I don't know. No offense to Nissan as we go into the carousel, and so we slow it down here as we take the banking. You just have to be careful a little bit on entry. If you go very aggressive into that, you will get all sorts of sideways as we continue on out of there. And we advance further on to YouTube corner. And up ahead, they are side by side going into the right-hander. That's an NSX going on the inside of a Ford GT. I have no idea who is in that. I guess it's Blue Racer, because Blue Racer just disappeared from the top three as we go into left-hander. But look at this. This is all very nice indeed. As we continue on out of here then, and down towards, technically, a jump now at the Nords. As we hit this here, so just brake just before it, just make sure the car settles as we go into the right-hander. Steve's caught up behind me there in the Porsche 911. As we go through the left-hander, we'll be following this all the way to the end now, because it's going to get spicy down the Dottinger Straight, which we'll get to shortly. We are in the trainer cars at the moment. I was feeling quite strong here at this moment in time. I was like, towards the back of this train, and it's a big old slipstream. We should have advantage. Going into this right-hand though, in the distance, you see a Ford GT touching the barrier there. They just come back on there. Slight tap on Blue Racer. They're just trying to control the car at that point. We will check that out in the bloopers, of course. But Blue Racer, unfortunately, gets a 4-second penalty. Now, that is a harsh penalty, as you will see in the bloopers as well, as we continue on out there in the infamous P6. And we're going to go into the double right, and then the long old straight. Steve close behind me as well. And I wasn't sure what to do here. I'd practiced 0 times at this moment in time on this corner, but we seem to nail it fine. The racing hard tyres working well there. Working well indeed. So we're in Shelty's slipstream. We know we're going to have Blue Racer taking a penalty. There it is. So that's a big old penalty. That's a massive penalty. It's longer than 4 seconds on this straight. And definitely not your fault there from what I could see. You see, we've got the run on Shelty. Shelty's got a run on Handsome Frank. We're going to go 3 wide here down the Dottinger. Up ahead, you can see that fighting as well. So I thought at this point in time, I'll be clean past. Happy days. I've got the run there. There's no way Shelty's going to come back. But oh no. Shelty is going to come back there. Shelty goes towards the left, so I just open that gap up for Shelty. As we come down here, Phantom Hand coming back as well. Just slight tap on the rear, bit of bump drafting. We look to slow it down, unfortunately there. Clip from behind, huge crash there. We go for a spin. We managed to bring it back on and catch it there. Now, of course, that was just a small mistake there from Hank. You see the Ukrainians gone off there in the NSX as well. As we head towards the final corner, Phantom Frank there waiting up for me. I think I was calling you Hank halfway through that, but apologies. We advance towards the line there. We do get the run on the NSX, still suffering with those dirty tyres, and we get P4 in the end. We'll have a look at the bleepers, of course, for all of that. Definitely not Frank's fault, that is for sure. And here is the scores on the doors then. 4.5. All the details are down below in the comments if you want all the details for that. No lap guide for Nurburgring. I'll say I'll put it at the end of a lap guide for the Nurburgring of a different car, but even so, I use those markers. We jump to Daily Race B then here at Trial Mountain, if you haven't already guessed there. Me in Group 3 Machinery. We're already doing 4 laps here. We're going to get onto that in the race. A rolling start, racing medium tyres, and you can adjust that brake balance. I chose the Porsche initially for this race. That was a bad choice in my part, and I'll do a lap guide in a different car. In terms of the key statistics here then, the track has been used 11 times. The track and car combo used 5 times. It's not a top 10 used combo, insanely, even though I feel like we do this quite often. Last used on the 29th of July, this circuit. It's a bit slippy, this track, especially in the MR cars, due to the weight transfer and the frame rates. The frame rate still struggles in certain sections, though some of you who've bought PS5 Pro may not suffer from that anymore. Let's jump into this one then. Let's have a look exactly what happens. Here we are then at the start of the next race. 2 Porsches on pole and P2 there. Toyota Supra in P3 as we kick off the race. Now, if you enjoyed this video, as always, do get a like and do subscribe to the channel. Stay in touch with all the latest content as we kick off this one. Mario Sonic ahead in that Supra, and it's very quick down the straight. And that's why I regretted picking this Porsche. As you will see, as we go into turn 1 then, not much happening here. A little bit of a wiggle from everyone with those colder tyres as we go into the left. And we head towards the tunnel. So it's all about the slipstream on the back straight as I send it down the inside of Mario Sonic. And we've got a car turn round there, the German, who is going to go all the way to the back of the pack as we head towards this right hand. We've got an RTZ in the distance. Who's picked that? That's an interesting choice. As we continue on out here then, as you can see, you can't really overtake at this moment in time. Everyone just sitting behind each other, waiting for the straight, waiting for the slipstream to kick off as we go into this left-hander. And as you see, 4 laps is not a lot as you see the frame rate issue and you know who turning the lights off there. So the Supra disappeared ahead of me, so we advanced towards where the corners are, and the Porsche works well. And the Supra doesn't, apparently, as we go on the inside there of Mario Sonic. We've got Bembo, who's span round as well. As we go up to P10 here, and that's Dodgy, I think, leading the pack there from Shelty. And the RCZ is the Spaniard in the distance as we fast forward here to the start-finish straight. We continue on here, and everyone's going to start weaving all over the place here to maintain that slipstream and maintain track position. I highly advise you don't go for an overtake in towards turn 1 because well, it's more than likely going to cause a crash, and if you want to cause a crash, that's the place to do it. So we go through the jumps here, and we settle the car down. So I'm trying to go for the inside line for the tunnel. I get it slightly wrong there. I managed to catch it, though, as we go into the left-hander. Max Power was looking on the inside of the RCZ, I think. Maybe it's going around the outside, not too sure there, with the McLaren on the inside, looking to get on the inside of Max Power. Into the right we go. Be careful the invisible wall on the inside as well as the out as we head towards the slight right. Very hard to get this one right side by side. They manage it though, does Blue Racer and Max Power as we go into the left hand. I'm on the outside now. I'm being left hung out to dry here and I'm hoping to try and stay in the slipstream. I don't there. Max Power pulls back in so we don't take advantage of that. Now we are going to try and bump draft a little bit here to keep ahead of the Supra behind. And as we get towards the end of this straight, this is where the overtaking is going to happen for most people as we're going to start to edge out now, just as the Supra does as well. So we're going to be 3 wide going into here then. As we look to slow it down, Max Power glides against the wall. But look at that radar then. 3 wide and we are making this work. It was a bit sketchy. You can see my reaction there. But hey, it worked. It was good racing and I enjoy that kind of stuff. You know, I may have lost out there, but it was good fun. And that's what we're here for. As we go into the right-hander then, we continue on through the RC10, holding everybody up at this moment in time as we head towards the final chicane. So in the car down, as it's going to be RCZ, then 650S. As we go into the right-hander, we're going to look at the distance. Now RCZ, unfortunately, spins its wheels, heads to the right, and goes on a date with Barrier then as we continue on to lap number 3. And we're still in P10 right now. And this is where I wish I chose that Toyota Supra because I'm struggling to overtake people due to the speed of that car up ahead as we go into the left-hander. And then the... Oh, well, Dodgy's gone off there as well. Look at that one in the bloopers to find out exactly what happened to Dodgy because we just saw the car had spun round as we head into the tunnel and then advance towards the end of the straight where we just can't get by that Supra. I take avoiding action there because I can brake later than the Supra. And Mario Sonic does keep that position. And you're very welcome, Mario Sonic, for my avoidance. We go to the final lap then. Let's see what we can do here as we head in towards turn 1. We're still in this train of cars as we go into the right, then the left. And who is at the head of this pack? I can't quite see. It's a Lamborghini of some kind as we go into the tunnel. Sonic on the outside. I'm trying to get my nose in on the inside to compromise the next corner, hopefully. It's the Austrian in the Lamborghini as we slow it down here. Sonic defends that beautifully. So we are looking for slipstream, but unfortunately that Supra is so hard to get by because it's got infinite power. And unfortunately, that's exactly what's going to happen on the straight. So we're going to go into this left-hander. I'm telling you exactly what's going to happen before it does as we go through here. I slightly hit the invisible wall there, which is not very helpful. That Supra's going to disappear as we go towards the end of the race and the end of the final lap. And you can see the Lamborghini's maintained position here as we go over towards the left. So we're trying to get the run out the corner. That's my plan here, to really try and maximize it. I know that Supra's going to spin its wheels a little bit. The McLaren tries the same thing up ahead, so it's going to be side by side as we head towards the line. See, I'm going go-karting-esque here, trying to put my head down to get the slipstream. And unfortunately, we don't quite get the position there. But that was a good fun race. And 4 laps is definitely not enough for this one. Should be 5 or even 6 laps there. I give it a 5.5. All the details for that scoring is down in the comments. So if you are wondering how it scored, go check out the pinned comment, which might not be there straight away, but it will be there at some point. So let's go into a lap guide then. I'm using that BMW you can see on the right hand side. And as we head towards turn 1, you got 2 gazebos on the left, 2 yellow gazebos. The last gazebo, literally as it leaves your screen, you want to lift off and turn in. You may want to dab the brake a little bit depending on the car. The Toyota Supra will definitely need to have a bit of a brake, but if using the BMW, you can just lift and turn in. I might just brake on this one. Yeah, tiny little brake there. As we go towards the right side, we want to cut as much of that as we can, and that allows you to take a better line for the left there. Notice there it was a tiny lift, not a big lift, tiny lift, and I could maintain the speed, use the downforce of the car. So on the right side there, you got the yellow barrier going into Armco. That's your brake marker for the tunnel. If you're not carrying as much speed, of course, you can get close to that tunnel entrance, but that's my main brake marker here for the left-hander. We're going to start out wide and then come in a bit later, take a later apex then, and then we thread second and then to third. And do be careful on exit. The car will get light, which does mean some wheel spin can occur. On the left-hand side, you've got a big rock. There's several big rocks, but the first one is your brake marker. So you're going to drop to second gear, brake in a straight line, and then try and get the rear to rotate a little bit as you go through here. There is an invisible wall on the inside, so if you cut it too tight, you're going to hit it and bounce off and potentially hit the one on the outside. That's as close as you want there as we continue on through here. So we're going to go over towards the left-hand side, and just before the end of the curb there, you're going to hit the brakes. Now, sometimes you'll want to go to seconds. Sometimes you can stay in third. I think I stay in third in this BMW M6. And what I want to do then is keep it nice and tight. I want to stay on the right-hand side of the yellow line. That's my goal here. If I go over it, then I'm carrying a bit too much speed. And you can see here, very much on the border. So on the right side there, we've got a warning sign. We've got the electrical box and a yellow sign telling you it's a left-hander. So if you weren't sure, there's your marker. So just as that leaves your screen, you're going to hit the brakes and turn in. You want to turn in earlier than you think because you can take a very tight line here. Just be careful of the frame rate because it will drop as you go through here. But notice how tight I take it. The tighter you take it, the quicker you can get on the accelerator. And the quicker you'll do this straight then. So we fast forward towards the end of the straight. And we're looking for a big old warning sign there on the right side. It says it's a left turn. It's also cambered as well, which does mean you can absolutely abuse this corner to smithereens. So literally you want to aim for the inside as you go on the brakes. And that will allow you to carry a lot of speed. It'll also slow you down a bit more as well. But that's what we're going to do here as we go towards the inside. We'll look for the big rock there and we start to accelerate. The second we pass it, if you accelerate too early, as in before the big rock, you're going to have issues. So we went over to the left there, straight line this brake in here, and you see the dead tree. There's half a tree trunk there, or even a quarter. Now, that's your brake marker. You want to brake just before this, over the crest of the hill, in a straight line. If you're remotely turning, you can go for a spin, a bit like Mario Sonic. Lost the rear in this corner on, I think it was the first lap. Notice there, straight line braking, start to release the brakes. A little bit of oversteer there, just due to the weight transition, as we then go over towards the right-hand side. And once again, we're looking for the big rocks. They're over on the left-hand side. So for this corner, it's a bit of a weird one. You want to start out wide and then come in tight later on. And the reason for that is you just want to get the best exit. If you turn in too tight too early, you are going to get a whole load of oversteer, and it's not going to help you in terms of fast laps. Notice there, the really delayed apex, but it allows me to get a good exit. You can actually do that in third gear throughout the corner in this BMW. So we head towards the final corner, and I'm going to just point out here the two blank concrete bollards on the left-hand side. So the first one is just after the Texaco. Second one, it's a bit too late on the brakes, but you want to get as close to that as you can. Basically, if you do the previous corner a bit quicker, you're braking a bit earlier. And if you do it quite slow, you're going to be braking late. So as you turn into here, you want to keep it nice and tight, nice and slow, over towards the left-hand side as much as possible to really open up this right-hander. And just be careful on the exit. The car will have a twitch like mine did right there. Head towards the line, staying on the left-hand side as tight as possible to really maximize that lap time. That's a 48.9. Definitely can see mid-48s here for the very fast guys. So that's your target, really. Daily race T then, well, this is a familiar combo, isn't it? We're 11 laps, rolling start, racing soft tyres, where a pit stop is required, times 2 fuel, times 3 tyre wear, and if you haven't already guessed by the car in the background, it is Group 2. You can adjust the brake balance. We did this about 2 months ago, or a month and a half ago, in terms of daily racing. So in terms of the key statistics then, we've used this track 19 times, the most used track in Gran Turismo. We've already done this car and track combo twice. It's not a top 10 used combo. And literally, 26th of August was this combo. So you can see that right there. The tyres do cook very quickly, so you do have to be careful here. And it's very hard to overtake just due to the massive amount of grip that these cars have. The downforce is huge. Racing soft tyres is huge. So there's no real lunge places you can go for that overtake. What we're going to do now then is jump into this race and let's have a look exactly what happens and the strategy you should probably go with. Here we are then for the final race. So everybody's going to be in the NSX, I imagine. Oh, Max Power chose the GTR here. The reason for that is the NSX is the best Group 2 car. Now, if you are enjoying this video, as always, do give a like, do subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all the support as we continue this journey on the old YouTube. And we're going to head towards turn 1 then behind Max Power in that GTR. And the German up ahead going very wide here in towards turn 1. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll take full advantage of that, get on the inside and straight up into P11 then as we go into the S's here at Suzuka. So this is all line of stern. You're not really going to make an overtake here. Very difficult to do. These cars have so much downforce. You're just carrying speed for days as we go through here. Now, I can't quite see who's leading the pack here. I think it's Hodgson. I think Hodgson's in the GTR from memory as well, as Max Power gets a little bit of oversteer on exit. And we head towards the Degners then. Degner 1, Degner 2. Danny's on the inside of somebody. But Away does actually back out of that. Oh, hello. Somebody set it on me on the inside there. That's a very cheeky move, but we managed to defend that one as we head towards the hairpin here. And we look to slow it down. Danny's absolutely sent it down the inside of Shelty there. My word, that was a send and a half. Right, we continue on out of here then. Shelty's been completely compromised. Lost another place to Max Power. We're looking to get by Shelty in the OnlyFans machine here. Maybe it's Shelty's OnlyFans. I have no idea. As we continue on through here and we head towards Spoon then. We slow it down. No point going for the overtake on the inside. We want to stay with the pack as we go. Oh, hello. Somebody is off in the distance. Who is that? Oh, it's Benbow. Benbow's gone again there. Benbow keeps spinning here in these races. Now, do remember, I do C first, then B, then A. So actually, that's Benbo's first spin, and the other one was his second. So through the left we go. Shelty gets good advantage there in the chicane. I'm like, thank you, Shelty. I'll follow you through here. So we go up to P9, and we're going to bump draft Shelty a little bit here. It's a custom slipstream, which does mean dirty air isn't as impactful as normal, and that's why we can stay so close. So I'll pull out here just to see where the corner is, and Shelty, well, gets a bit lost there. Decides to go left rather than right, and yeah, I have no idea exactly what happened at the time that was, until we found out Shelty's game crashed. And that's the reason for the crash, and we will have a look at that one in the bloopers. So Bahamas slow on the exit of Tidgney 2. Let's just go there. Big thumbs up from me, but we can race, you know. If I am in the race, just have a good race if you want to. It's all good from me. As we continue through the hairpin, then we're up into P7 as we advance to lap number 3, and we catch up to Sonic and Hodgson. That gap to leader hasn't really changed there, a blue racer. We are maintaining pace right now with all this racing action as we go into the S's once again. And this is where we do start to struggle a little bit with cars up ahead. Just having to go a bit slower than normal here as we go into the right hand of that GTR of Hodgson. We'll be slowing up a bit more because the NSX is more of a handling car, so we'll be better suited for that part of the circuit as we continue towards Tidgney 1. Then we'll see what we can do here in terms of getting past Sonic. I basically want to show this as well in terms of where you can and can't overtake. Now, we did take that very slowly and very weirdly, actually, Tidgney 1. So through the second we go, and we head towards the hairpin. You can see here, no gaps are changing as we head towards the hairpin. Sonic goes defensive. I'm going to try around the outside here. Very hard to do. You really have to maintain the speed. I don't quite do it then. So it's the same positions as we leave that corner. And Sonic maintain the position and has the slipstream up ahead. So I can't really go for a bit of a slingshot off the corner because Sonic gets the same little bit of strength there in terms of a bit more speed. So through spoon we go. And we are not losing that much to the leaders there. We've lost, what, 3 attempts? It was 5 dead. It's now 5.3 as we continue on out of here. And this is where you would expect to potentially go for the move if it was just 2 cars. But because it's 3, we can't really go for it. And I just thought I'd go towards the left there just to see where 130R is as we go through. And where's Sonic going to go? So Sonic towards the right. Is it going to send it? No, not quite. We all back out of this. And we continue in the same position. So you see in there's no real overtaking spots. No real big ones, at least. The hairpin is the critical one, but Sonic defended it beautifully on that previous lap. So we really have to come up with something very imaginative if we can. Now, we've got a bit of a run here, heading towards turn 1. Very dangerous to go for this move, but I'm sort of looking all the same as I go into here. But Sonic defends again beautifully. Keeping that P6 for now, and we are losing a bit more time to the leader of Blue Racer. So lap number 4, here we are, Sonic, Hodgson up ahead, and I'm not sure where to go here. We've actually got the Greek driver involved in this now, so it's a 4-way scrap as we head towards 130R. I wasn't sure where to go here, left or right, that was the question. Sonic's on the right, Hodgson's on the left of the Greek driver as we go into here, slowing it down there. Sonic looking to get the move done as we go into the left part of the chicane. Now, I was thinking about pitting here, if I'm brutally honest with you, but Sonic goes in the pits, so I carry on. Now, I did mention about cooking tyres. Now, my tyres have maintained or been below 90 degrees, and that's where you want them to be, below 90. The second they go above is when they start wearing very quickly. Now, Hodgson just gets slowed up there by Aris, the Greek driver, ahead, and actually gets compromised through there, so we get that position. Nice little steal as we go into the left. And those tyre temperatures just hit 90 on the front right then. We need that to calm down again in terms of tyre temps as we head towards Tidgney 1. Though I had to back out of this a little bit just due to Aries. I wasn't sure why they were going so slowly, and I didn't want to rear-end them and send them to Narnia. So through there we go then. We're going to head towards the hairpin, which is probably the overtaking spot here at Suzuka, and Irish defends that nicely. And we actually get on the inside here. Good exit from myself then. So we're going to be side by side as we head towards Spoon, but Irish is going to be on the inside, so that's going to mean that they keep that advantage for now. But I'm sort of just keeping myself open there, sort of saying, I am here, I am going to go for it. And that's what I'm going to do here. Send it on the inside. We do get it stopped. We leave a lot of room on the outside there as well, just to ensure that we did make that corner nice and safely. Hodgson follows me through as well behind as we continue on as there. Lap number 5. So Tyre's about halfway, so you're probably going, Tidge, if you pit a lap earlier, you'd have been absolutely fine. We'll see about that as we head towards the chicane. So just defending a little bit here from Hodgson. Blue Racer's just come in the pits there in P2. We're in P3 right now as we come into the pits. What we're going to do is change those tyres, put some fresh on, and hopefully get towards the end of the race as my pit crew do that very beautifully. Thank you, team. as we leave the pits. And there's Mario Sonic. Look at the gap Mario Sonic has gained there. It took me a while to catch up then. So this is lap number 9, and we are very much closer to Mario Sonic now as we head in towards turn number 1. Looking to slow the car down nicely. There we go. Tire steps haven't been too much of a problem at all here, really, as Mario Sonic, well, just lets me go, which I appreciate, but you didn't have to do that as they remained just below 90. But you can see here the tyre wear is starting to have an impact now. Mario Sonic is catching me up as well. The tyre temps just gone below 90 here. Mario Sonic looking down the inside. Not going to quite work there as we head in towards turn number 1. And those tyre temps are going to start to rise very, very, very quickly here. Look at that, 92 and 91. You can see that the second they get above 90, they start wearing. So we had about half at the start lap number 10. Danny's gone for a spin there. That was the leader. Not anymore as we continue towards the hairpin. But look at those tyres. They are staying above 90 now. We are struggling with tyre temps, and this is the critical part of the race. You're going to have to manage this, and you don't get told the information, which is the annoying part. And I have done a video on that, which I will link at the end of this video as we continue out of here. Look, still in the 90s. Still, that front right. They are cooking right now. So we had half at the start lap 10. We've gone to a quarter. We've used a quarter of our tyres in one lap. And that's due to those temperatures. So we're going to head towards turn 1. I hope you're not having a drinking game, by the way. Heading towards turn 1. Mario Sonic round the outside here. This is a beautiful move by Mario Sonic. Really well done. Committed as well. And nails it very nicely. So we head towards 130R then. The final part of the race and lap here. And I'm just looking where to go. And Mario Sonic, is he going to go defensive? That's the question. Yes, he does. That's exactly what I would have done here as we go on the brakes and looking to slow the car down. And we're trying to get the best line out of this corner. So we sort of set up for the exit here. Mario Sonic gets good grip on the exit, though, and is going to defend this position all the way to the line. We sort of go towards the inside, but we're going to keep P4 there and not end up on the podium. Good little race there with Mario Sonic. As always, with the points, they are about to appear on screen. Check out the pinned comment down below for all the information. It's a 5 out of 10, which is actually one more than last time it was run. But remember, they did make the change after the first day, which we now have that change raised right now. Let's go into a lap guide then. This was from the previous time that we had this combo, actually. And as we head towards turn 1, what we are looking for is going to be in the middle of the corner, actually. It's not even where we look on the left. But you can see there on the left-hand side, the green, the light green there in the middle of the corner. So I'm sort of braking just before I get to that. So it's in the middle of the curb on the right if you want to use the red and white curbing. And you want to trail brake all the way through this corner. You're looking to slow the car down nicely. If you go 100% braking immediately, you are going to suffer some oversteer as we continue on through there. Now, I managed to just survive that with the 100% braking. As we go towards the left, I stay in third gear. And this is where you just want to maintain as much speed as possible through the S's, okay? The slower you go, the less of the downforce you can use. So the quicker you go, the more grip you have, and it barrels and spirals out of control, which is why the lap times are going to be so big. This right-hander then, at the start of the curb on the right, is your little dab of the brakes. And sometimes you'll want to go to second gear. Sometimes you'll want to stay in third gear. It really depends on you. Now, I say in third gear on this particular lap. The current lap on the leaderboard, I dropped to second. Through the left where you go, you may want to slightly lift for that corner. Some people will struggle there on that left just because your car will start to unsteer out. Now, as we head towards Tidgney 1, you're looking for the 50 there. A quick dab of the brakes. Make sure you're in fourth gear when you do Tidgney 1. The curb could bounce you off, so you're going to have to be careful. It could actually bounce you more in with a bit of a weird weight transfer, which is really what you want and what the top times will be doing. So a quick dab of the brakes there, clip in, there we go. And what we're looking for then is the Marshall tent on the left-hand side. That's your brake marker for Tidgney 2. Now, you're going to want to drop to second gear for this one. I'm not sure where I do this one in third on this particular lap, but second gear is definitely better in my opinion. Third gear, you're going to just struggle with a bit of wheel spin on exit. Let's see what I do then as we go into here. No, I do second gear. We clip the curb and then we just bolt out. The car will just grip on exit, so just keep that in mind. We're going to head towards the hairpin then and over towards the right-hand side. And what we're looking for there is the Dunlop sign on the left. So as it hits the edge of your screen, hit the brakes and you're going to want to drop all the way down to first gear. First gear is the name of the game, but potentially you might want to short shift on exit to second gear just to avoid a bit of wheel spin because you will suffer a little bit of that in first gear. So I go first gear here as we accelerate out. Notice I'm on and off the power because of the turbo as we now exit the corner. And we can breathe a little bit as we head towards Spoon. You can relax and chill, look at your phone, do whatever you want. So as we head up here then, we are going to be last of the late breakers, that is for sure. And that's the piece of tarmac there on the right-hand side. Now, I normally brake before that. We are going to be braking on it or after it, depending on what you feel like and how confident you are into Spoon, because this is one where you can easily get it wrong, as we saw in the race. So what you're going to do is you're going to drop 2 gears to 3rd gear, clip the curb, head over towards the outside, but come off the curb before it ends. Otherwise, you hit the slippy stuff and go for a spin, which is the understeer and sort of going too far out and not having the confidence to come back in. So we dropped 2nd gear at this moment in time. We're letting the car rotate. And the second we clip the curb on the inside, we want to accelerate out the corner as quick as humanly possible. The car will just grip. So just keep that in mind. Notice there, it gripped. And we even touched the slippy stuff and it still gripped. So we're going to head to 130R, which is flat, nice and easy here, no issues whatsoever. And the final corner then, the chicane. What we're looking for is the start of the pit lane on the right hand side, the yellow line, the old pit lane, of course, not the new one, or the 100 board if you want to be last of the late breakers. So I normally use the yellow line, and I'm going to use the yellow line in this situation, but the 100 is definitely there for you if you prefer using that. So we're going to hit the brakes, drop down to 1st gear, clip the inside, and then we short shift to 2nd through the corner, and that's just to make sure we don't get wheel spin on the exit. Keep towards the inside then as you head towards the line, and this is a 46.9. I think I'm on a 47.2 on the current leaderboard, but it's the exact same in terms of how you do the lap. Go to the bloopers then, and we're on board the Lamborghini Diablo here as we go towards floodflats. They hit the brakes slightly here, just trying to maintain that speed through the corner as I did here. And they're going to clip the grass on the left, and it's going to send them on a bit of a journey, a bit of a spin. And unfortunately, that's them out of the race, unless they catch up, which I'm not actually sure whether they do or not. Right, here we go then. GT Mouse in the Porsche. Now they're taking Foxhole. Very compromised here as we go over, and they're going to clip the grass. And Max Power gets very close there to being involved in that crash, but manages to survive it somehow. I can't get my words out now. At the end of the race here, we've got the Ford GT, which we did see go off there. Just took too much speed into the corner. They're trying to come back on there. The tentative taps on Blue Racer, and Blue Racer got a 4-second penalty for that one. That is a brutal penalty. Definitely not fair in the slightest. And we continue on board the Ukrainian then, who was in the lead and still in the lead right now. Max Power goes for the move down the inside. The Ukrainian trying to catch the NSX, but with it being an MR layout car, goes for a bit of a spin in towards that final corner. That's a big old crash, isn't it? My word. There's Handsome Hank, or Handsome Frank, whichever way you want to call it. Their nickname and first name differs all the time, or PSN should say. A bit of a bug draft here. This is a big old crash here, so I just hit the brakes a little bit there. That says me right. That's a big crash. That's a massive crash. That'll make an excellent short that we'll have this week. You see my live reaction there. 4-second penalty. Arguably that's fair in that situation, but Handsome Hank does wait up for me all the same. So the Porsche here. Weight transfer causes the issue into the tunnel, and they do some very kind stuff here by waiting. We go on board Bembo then. This is going to be weight transfer again. The MR cars are definitely not the go-to cars here this week. The reason they're so good at the previous Trial Mountain is it was racing hard tyres. Basic medium just means the FR cars have a bit more grip on those rear wheels. The RCZ here through the right-hander. They're going to accelerate, get a bit of wheel spin, and, well, there you go. There's Barry R and a Michelin man saying hello. Right, Dutchy in towards turn 1. They need an MR car. I guess what's going to happen? It's going to be weight transfer, isn't it? There we go. Slight trail braking, bit too much, and goes for a spin. But nice to see that TCR livery there, Dutchy. Appreciate that one. Go to Daily Race C then. We're on board Bembo again, who we've just witnessed. And unfortunately, there's the slippy stuff at Spoon. And goes for that journey of a spin there. And everybody flying on by. So that's the end of Bembo's race. Here's Shelty then. So Shelty's game crashed essentially. We're going to see it crash right now. And Shelty's going to go straight on and hit the barrier. And Shelty got lost. And the game got lost as well there. Right, we'll go on board Danny then. So Tidgney 1 hit there. You can see Danny using all of the track here. So I'm going to bolt it out of here. Short shift to 3rd gear. Unfortunately, that may have caused a bit of understeer and sent Danny off to the barrier. 1.5-second penalty to boot, which is extremely unfair when you crash, but it is what it is. The Max Power's got off the circuit. Now, I didn't notice this until I was doing some tyre wear checks, which we're going to do after this blooper here. Max Power going for the unusual line of way out wide, coming back on and actually gaining positions. So we just fast forward a little bit here. They're 3 wide heading to 130R. Highly recommend you don't do this as Arias pulls out there. And unfortunately, there's a slight bit of contact between the two. Now, I'm not actually sure whether that's Bahamas' fault or not in this situation. Now, Bahamas tries to give it back, but gets it slightly wrong by touching the grass and goes for a bit of a spin. What we're going to do now is look at tyre wear then. So Blue Racer there with much better tyres than Muscafi. Marisonic low. I'm low. And then we're going to go on Womble, who's a bit better. And Danny with even better tyres. And I think it's all to do with fresh air. If you've got fresh air, your tyres are going to last longer. As well as those tyre temps will cook behind somebody. That's it for me though, folks. I do hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, as always, do give it a like. Do subscribe to the channel. Check out the partners down below in the description. And there are those 2 videos I was talking about with a Nurburgring lap guide and the tyre temp issue. Thanks so much as always, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.